just, there's not a standard intro. Do you like that? No? Too much chaos? Okay, very well. Let me summarize. Liliana, me. I dye yarn. It's Parcel Fiber Co. And this podcast is called Happiness Delivered. And it started mostly with the intention of me talking about my knitting, what I'm working on, projects that I have planned, acquisitions, you name it. Basically, all the standard knitting podcast drivel. And perhaps that's why it has been difficult for me to continuously come out and record a podcast. So we'll put a little bookmark on that. I was looking at my YouTube channel and I was like, okay, when was the last time I did a podcast? It says 9 months ago. It feels like it's longer than that. And I caught maybe a few moments of, oh my God, excuse me. I caught a few moments of the podcast and I was just like, yeah, it ain't flowing. It ain't flowing. But anyways, so it's been a long time. Obviously, life has been happening and things have been going on, and numerous things have kept me from coming and recording a podcast. Namely, I think the fact that a podcast that's solely about knitting, when knitting makes up a fraction of my life, felt like I wasn't being authentic, because I like to talk about things that are probably a little bit more deep and meaningful and philosophical and not always surface level. And I think a lot of times, for the sake of likability and reach and to not alienate and not to be to not be a downer, we kind of stay a little bit at the surface level of our life in what we share. And so I think that impacts the depths of the connections that we have, because if everybody's meeting each other as representative, if you will, and we're not being vulnerable and showing the truth of what's happening in our life, of our experience, we're doing a disservice to, I think, the life that we're meant to lead, because it is only in that authentic expression that the world evolves. If everyone is an individual, unique, unlike any other, then why are we trying so hard to be like everybody else? Ergo, there's going to be a lot of variety pack on this site now, on this channel, because I have a lot of things that interest me, and I'm going to pursue my passion, and I'm going to pursue my joy, and I'm going to pursue my happiness, and that's what this is going to be about. It will be largely knitting, but all kinds of crafts, because my ideas don't stop. The more I feed my creativity, the more it blooms. And so, yes, that is now what I'm here to do. So since it's been a while, and I promised I would try to keep this podcast short and brief. Things I'm not prone to being. Oh no, just kidding. I'm kind of short. 5'6" over here. Full of dad jokes. Please disregard. Anyhow, I am going to keep it brief. I want to talk very briefly about yarn business stuff solely because it isn't going to be a part of this channel, even though this is largely started from that. And I say that because, okay, let me rewind. It isn't that it's not going to be part of the channel. It's that I will keep in future my yarn product shop updates separate from the podcast vlog content. All right. The last note about the current state of the shop. The shop is going to stay open until, let's see, what's the date today? The 6th. I'm going to keep it open for like another week. I have a trunk show that I'm preparing for at the end of the month. That's for the Orange Blossom Yarn Crawl. That's going to be at Knitcessities, and that's in Orlando. So if you're local, I do hope you can come and visit. The Orange Blossom Yarn Crawl is a yarn crawl that takes place annually in the Central Florida area, and this will be my second time vending / having my trunk show at Knitcessities. It was lovely to meet so many of you guys there last year, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys there again this year. That brings me to future business activities. So if you have seen from my Instagram, which by the way is Parcel Fiber Co., I finally received, my God, I'm so excited. I finally received my little camper that I have ordered that I have had ordered since November of 2023. Okay. Yeah, a long ass time. So I'm not going to talk completely about that. I have a feeling the camper is going to get its own channel because the camper is going to be an experience all on its own. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I just am thinking to myself, you know, I really am trying to consolidate all of me into one channel. One thing, the me channel. But I feel like we would never finish a story. We would never get to the point because the tangents would be epic. So I digress. Travel plans with the camper. So at some point after trunk show, I'll call it trunk show season, ends, then I'll be free to move about. I had hoped to hit the road immediately after getting the camper and start traveling places, going back to places that I've been, you know, connecting with people. Obviously, I want to connect with other makers. I want to connect with other yarn shops. I want to, you know, see if there's other wholesale opportunities out there. And as someone who can't count on the algorithm to put me in front of my audience, and I love being in front of people and talking to people and exchanging energy. I like to be together until said point where I like to be away. I keep it very balanced. When I don't have the good vibes, I keep to myself, but tangent. I want to be engaging with people outside of the social media, boots on the ground, you know, like before we had all this convenience that seems to just be pulling us further apart as opposed to bringing us closer together. I don't think I'm single-handedly doing this, but I feel like I just want to meet people where they are. So I have a rough, got a little heavy with the finger there. I have a little rough kind of thing that I haven't plotted out, so consider this penciled in. So in April, I'm kind of staying put. I I think through end of April. I'd like to hit Maryland sheep and wool in the camper. Have friends up in Maryland. Did you know that I went to college up in Maryland? Not Maryland State, but you know, I was up there. So you know, big love. So I would be heading up to Maryland sheep and wool. Did I just say I will be? Dang, I guess I'm going. But it was still a plan. I guess it's happening. Jeez, things change quick. And then since I'll be going in the camper, girl, I have plans. My friend Jen doesn't know. She'll know. If she watches this, she'll know. I'm gonna tell her. But I'm like, last time I was up there, I was like, girl, you know my camper would be right nice right back here by the lake. It's not the lake, it's the, what is it? It's over there by the bay, the Chesapeake. It's one of those bodies of water over there. Geography, it's not my strong suit. Is it? I don't know. Back here. Yeah. This is me. All right, yes, Maryland. I plan to hit Maryland sheep and wool. And then I think that's in early May, maybe second weekend of May. It might be that I don't come back till June. God, that's terrible. See, this is why the making of the plans has me all. You know what? A moment to remember that the right plan will reveal itself to me. Because right now, I think about when I can do this, when I can do that, and then I think about other factors that could impede that. And like, I'm plotting and solving things that are not even happening. And I'm not the only one who does this. So, yes, my goal is to take my camper out as soon as possible, but also maximize how long and how many stops and the path, you know, to get as many big things in on the same trip. I haven't taken the camper before. I will be going by myself. I now have to get over the whole, holy shit, what if something happens? Because I will be the one who solves it. So all that to say, Maryland has a couple things. I had just said sheep and wool like 5 million times, but then I also remembered there was something in Frederick. I forgot the yarn shop name. Unit? No, Do Unit. No? Different one. I'm sorry, everybody has a sheep pun. How can I remember? And then once I finished Maryland, I'd head up north. And because I'd be going up through the 95 way, figured I'd visit some friends. I'd try to make a plan to visit a customer, previous customer, because as you know, that day job is no more. I'm trying to visit a customer. He has an art gallery and I just want to check it out. And, you know, he'd been hearing about the camper forever. And then I have other people that I've met there. There's this one kid who I randomly met and now we're friends. And that's the story of my life. And then some other former colleagues up in New York that maybe I can visit before eventually heading up to Montreal for Knit City. After which I shall Montreal my way back west through the farmlands and back to Toronto to visit my crew over there. And that's the loose plan. The reason that whole schedule thing math started happening in here is because May May is also the last month of school, and since now I have the camper, I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about summer camp. I just got to plan things that I can do and take my kid with me so that she can finally live a life of adventure as opposed to the one where she's glued to her device. And not that I care that she spends time on her device. That's an experience of the modern day that she'll have to figure out on her own. But my job is to show her other ways to experience the world. What better way to do that than through the example of living differently? See, TED Talks. Okay, so I have a little note here about a trunk show in Canada because there was a time last year where I had talked about it. But lately, word on the street is taxation stuff has got people up and upset about stuff. So I don't know if that's going to be possible. I don't think it'll stop me from trying and seeing what could be. But, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. Let me see what else I have in my notes. I think I nailed that. I think I nailed the deets. Now I'll have to edit it so that all my expressive facial features, as I proceed to make more of them, I will try to edit out the parts of me that cannot be edited, which is the language of the face. But since I finally got to write to writing it down, not a script per se, because I don't do that. I don't do that. But just some general guidelines, super helpful. I've been talking about doing this for a while, and maybe not so much about in terms of the knitting, but like podcasting about the things that I really think about and the things that really matter and the way things overlap in life, if you will. I'd been thinking about that a lot, and last night I think just with a conversation with a friend, and I was just like, yeah, today's the day. So after I wrote all my little notes here on my notebook, I guess I'll finish with a final thought because that sounded cliche. But I wrote this down, and then it just made perfect sense. Okay, so hear me out, because this is all in the vein of like what I needed to hear, like what finally registered for me in terms of me setting out to record today. And it was this: sometimes we assume that others cannot meet us at our depths, so we stay close to the surface. But perhaps others need to see us in our depths, in our fullest expression, to know depths are not to be feared, but to be explored. And so here we are. Thanks for watching. I didn't show you any yarn. But it's okay. I know you don't mind. The yarn other times. So until next time, thank you for watching. Bye. You know why I'm back, right? Right? Because I forgot an essential, okay? Actually, you know what? I think it says a lot. I'm gonna let this speak, okay? Because I came back because part of me is like, girl, you missed the point. You have a knitting podcast. You didn't show any damn knitting. You didn't even show any damn yarn. You have seriously missed the plot. But then I realized that, like, I've got more to say that's not about knitting. And that proves the point. Because I can have an entire conversation with you and not show you a damn thing. I mean, it'll be better when I'm showing you stuff like this. Or this. My sexy bit of this, you know? It is a little nicer when you can be like, ooh, I want to touch that. And who says yarn can't be sexy? Oops, I did it again. Thirst trapped you into staying here with me. Oh well, guess I'm just gonna have to thirst trap you into self-love too. I'm here for it. See you next time.